Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. We are live on Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas. Thank you for joining us here. Hope all is well with you, and thank you for being a part of the fun as we answer your Royal Caribbean cruise questions. Starting with the most important question: how many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let us count down together. I just boarded Freedom of the Seas today here in Miami. It's a 4-night cruise going to the Bahamas. Perfect day tomorrow, Nassau, Wednesday, Sea Day Thursday, back home Friday, beginning a summer of a lot of great cruises, and I'm very excited for it, and I'm glad to have each and every one of you guys here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We had a number of super chats before the broadcast began, and we're going to start with Desiree Hall. Desiree, thank you as always for your support, Desiree. Appreciate you. Josh Albertson did something I don't think anyone has done before. I don't think. He did 2 super chats in a row supporting each other. First of all, Josh's first one, thank you, Josh. He said, add this super chat to the other one. So thank you, Josh. And thank you, Josh, again for the double super chat. $25 to pay for Matt to do Crown's Edge on a sea day at the June group cruise. We all look up to you, fearless Royal Caribbean blog leader. Love it. Well, I'm not sure Matt is going to do that. My daughter actually signed up for it. My youngest daughter, she's going to try it out because the price was really cheap. But we're going to, I'm not so sure about that, Josh, but thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Nicole Lombardi also had a super chat before the broadcast began. 353 days till Jewel, 685 till Utopia. Can't wait. Utopia of the Seas is going to be a really fun ship. I am so excited. We're just 2 months away from her launch, which is absolutely bananas. Love that. Wes Goodrich, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, best chat going. Thank you. 517 days till Symphony. Thinking of skipping out on Coco Key. Been there already to have an empty ship. What is ship like on a busy port day? Like Coco Key is worth to skip. I mean, it can be. I love Coco Key. But the great thing, no matter what port it is, if you happen to stay on board the ship and not get off, is that it is very empty. The pool deck in particular is the best thing about staying on board the ship. Water slides, the pool, they're pretty empty. It feels like having it to yourself, quite frankly. That's the best part about it. And don't forget, Wes, you could also get off the ship early. Like, get off the ship at 9 o'clock in the morning. Do a little bit on the island. Come on back at like 11 or noon. You're still going to have the ship basically to yourself. That's an option for you as well. But it's a very liberating experience. It is very, very nice. And our last super chat before the broadcast began came from Gary F. Gary, thank you for the super chat. Booked a C-Class junior balcony on Icon next January. Can I use the suite line to board the ship? Yes, you can. If so, will this get us on the ship quicker? Thanks. Yes. So essentially, if you're in the suite line and Royal Caribbean has not started boarding yet, suites always board first. So yeah, in that case, you would get on the ship a little bit earlier there. So. It's coming in. I missed one. Hang on. Stand by. There it is. Brenda, thank you for the super chat, Brenda. 13 days till Harmony of the Seas. What hotel are you staying at next June in Southampton? On the same cruise, and found out it's a group cruise. Can't wait to meet you. We don't have anything booked for next June. I think, though, with that being said, Brenda, we will not be staying in Southampton. We're going to stay in London before the cruise, and the day of the sailing, we'll take the train down from London to Southampton. Now, Don and Judy, who I think are in our chat, they can recommend a great hotel they stayed at in Southampton the last time they were there and absolutely loved it. They told me about it last week. So Don, Judy, if you guys are in the chat, please let Brenda know that hotel you recommended to me that I forgot the name, but that'd be a great option for you. But I prefer to stay in London personally because we're going to do some touristy stuff in London, and it's really easy to take the train down the day of and go check that out, which is ironic. Now I think about it, because I don't take the train the same day from Orlando to Miami the same day of a cruise here. So, yes, the irony is not lost on me on there. Alan with a Y. Hello from Central Park on Symphony of the Seas. Love that. That is fantastic. Mike Pastore, hello and welcome. Jay Osteen's got a question for us. Made final payment last week. You got an invoice showing it's paid from Royal Caribbean, but they haven't actually taken the payment yet. Is it unusual that it's taking this long? It's a great question. This is also one of those situations, Jay, where I think to myself, boy, am I happy I use a travel agent. I don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. I am not sure. But if you have the receipt that you have the zero balance, that's the most important thing, I suppose. It's a great question, my friend. We had another super chat come in from Jose. Thank you, Jose, for the super chat. 4 days till Adventure. Shout out to Yvonne for MEI Travel. She is great. Love Adventure in the Seas. It's a great ship. I've not been on an adventure since 2021, but I'd love to go back on board. I don't think I have anything booked on Adventure right now, but I think something will pop up eventually. Sometimes cruises just happen. You know, you find a good deal out there or a good opportunity to go on a cruise, and there you go. Let's see here. And of course, guys, please feel free to type your questions into chat right now. We're going to answer as many questions as we can over the next hour, assuming the internet holds up. This afternoon it was kind of wonky, but now it's behaving kind of good. So feeling pretty good about that. Let's see here. Sherry wants to know, what's your experience? And did you like the main dining room? It's our very first cruise ever. I love the main dining room. I just had dinner, Sherry, in the main dining room, right down on deck 3, right over there. It was fantastic. I love the main dining room. I think, Sherry, some people get wrapped up in expectations, and they have some really lofty expectations of what they think the dining room should be. I can't speak for those folks. There are negative reviews about everything, Sherry. So number one, ignore the online reviews. You can find negative reviews of everything out there. I mean, you pick your favorite movie, your favorite restaurant. I am sure there are negative reviews of those that you can find online. So they're meaningless. People just have their own opinions. That's fine. Ignore the reviews there. And he says 73 days to AOS. That could be Allure, Anthem, Adventure. I'm not sure which one, but ignore the reviews. You'll have a great time on your cruise. A cruise is what you make of it. That's the most important thing right there. Chris Moss. Chris, thank you for the super chat. 60 days to enchantment, 214 to freedom. No question. Appreciate all the knowledge to allow me to be an educated cruiser. You are very welcome, my friend. Thank you, Chris, for the very generous super chat. You are the best. I see Patty's in the chat. Patty, happy belated birthday to you. Hope you had a wonderful Patty party. And Jerry, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I know I answered your question already. I'm not sure which AOS it was, but more importantly, I think you'll have a great, great time. So this is the question earlier about Southampton. The hotel that they stayed at was the Pig in the Wall in Southampton, and they loved it. So let me tell you something. If I was going to Southampton, stay in Southampton, I would pick that hotel based on it. Don and Judy are wonderful people. I trust their judgment impeccably. Zach, thank you for the super chat. Zach wrote, just want to say hi from Mariner. This is we're having a great time on our first cruise ever for our honeymoon. Congratulations. Thanks for all the info and help. Keep up the good work. You are very welcome, Zach. Get back to your honeymoon. Enjoy it. That is awesome that you're having such a good time on Mariner. I love Mariner. Freedom is fantastic, but I think I prefer Mariner of the Seas just a little bit more. So, yeah, really, really nice there. Let's see here. BK Lounge, thank you for the super chat. Has express boarding been added to all ships? No. If you read the article I posted about it at royalcaribbeanblog.com, right now it's only at Port Miami. So Freedom and Icon are the only two ships that I'm aware of that have it. I suppose in the future they'll roll it out to more, but as of right now, it's just the two ships. So, and just Terminal A. Watching your back wants to know, where am I? Guys, can you guess where I am on Freedom of the Seas without cheating? Although we do have a full ship tour video on our YouTube channel that you can watch. Do you guys know where we are? We're in a different location. I'm not at Starbucks like I usually am, because there is no Starbucks on Freedom. Arlana, thank you for the super chat. 2 more weeks till I finish my bachelor's in nursing. Awesome. Hello. I'm sorry? Oh, over there. 2 more weeks till I finish my bachelor's in nursing. Then I can book my favorite ship, Symphony of the Seas. Nice. That's awesome. Symphony is a great ship. And 2 more weeks till you get your bachelor's in nursing. What an awesome profession there. That is fantastic. Florida Beach, I'm on Freedom of the Seas. We are on Freedom right now. Let's see here. Jen G just bought your luggage tags from Amazon storefront. Nice. 19 days till Icon. I used my luggage tags today when I got on board the ship. They are the first thing I ever bought for a cruise, specifically for a cruise, and it was the best investment ever. I love them. David Crawley, thank you for the super chat. Can you refresh our memory? Is it easier to check in via the app versus the website? Yes. There's a couple of reasons why the app is better. Number one, you can scan your passport with the app. Number two, with the app, you can go in and get a check-in time without actually getting without going through all the rest of the check-in. You can simply go in, get a check-in, a boarding time, and then leave, and then come back later and do the rest later, which is a really, really nice feature. And then obviously, and the third reason, if you're cruising out of Miami, you can only get express boarding with the app. So yeah, the app all the way, 100%, not even a question about it. Tony Crawford, thank you for the super chat. This is the best part of Monday evening. Thank you. Royal Caribbean Live and dinner gets me through to my next sailing, family vacation on Harmony in 41 days. I love Harmony. I've not been on Harmony in a long time. I need to get back on that ship. I really, really love Harmony this season. It is so, so good. Deputy Get Some, thank you for the super chat. Had a great transatlantic on Odyssey. Awesome. Thanks for all your tips while switching from Carnival. Booked on Wonder for next April. Is the lunch menu different than the dinner menu at Hooked? I am not 100% certain if it's exactly the same or not. I want to say it's the same. I don't recall what's different about that menu versus lunch or dinner, other than maybe the price. If there is, it's a very minor difference, but I'm not aware of one. Let's see here. Fun Size Cruiser, thank you for the super chat. Going on a group cruise on Icon with 65 fellow cruisers with dwarfism. Any height limits for the slides? Also, what is the current production on board? Yeah, so there are height limits on slides. You have to be a certain height in order to go on it, and it depends on the slide. So there is it's not like the standard height for all of them. So you have to. We have the information at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. If you search, go to Google, type in Royal Caribbean Blog, Icon of the Sea slides, you'll find the information there. The current production on board Icon is the big production show, of course, is going to be Wizard of Oz. That's the main one. And then you've also got shows in the Aqua Theater and in the, I almost call it Studio B. It's not Studio B. At the ice skating rink on board Icon as well. They're really good. I would recommend seeing all the shows. They are so, so worth it. They've done a really, really good job there. We've got Christopher checking in from Ovation of the Seas in Skagway. How cool is that? I'm jealous. Not because you're in Alaska, also because it's not 1,000 degrees outside like it is over here. More Than Words is MEI travel to work with folks cruising out of the West Coast. Other shippers are really finding info videos about New Orleans. Yeah, absolutely. MEI travel works with anybody, anywhere. You can live in any country in the world. You can totally fine. Let's see here. Anthony says, I always book my cruise through websites. How do I find a good travel agent? Great question. Word of mouth is what I recommend. You talk to someone, a friend, family member, somebody you trust, and say, hey, who do you use? And then you get a recommendation. That's how I found MEI Travel, who, of course, is our sponsor here on our channel here. But that's how I started using them. Even before they were ever a sponsor, I started using them as a customer, and somebody recommended them, and you know what? They were really, really good. We have some more super chats coming in. Let's see here. Rick Lipinski, thank you for the super chat. 40 days to the Icon Group cruise. Will there be any concerns with bringing a USB blender on board for mixing protein shakes in the cabin? That's a good question, Rick. I don't know. I don't know they'll allow it. I mean, it's USB, so it's not like there's a power issue, but appliances in general, I can't promise you, dude. Because number one, this is the first I've ever heard of someone wanting to bring a USB blender on board. Number two, it's certainly not written down as specifically an excluded item, but I don't know, man. If you were asking me to make a bet, I usually bet against it, just because I just feel like they're going to see it's a blender, and the fact that it's USB powered, I don't know that it'll really matter. But listen, man, I don't know. I don't know for a fact. That's a brand new question I've never gotten asked before. So we got an Icon. Let me know if your blender made it on there. Mary Kate wins. We are actually in the photo area. Yes, deck 3 over by Studio B. Why am I here? Well, number one, it's not very busy. Number two, there's no music being played over here, so I don't think we're going to get hit with a YouTube DMCA strike. And number three, it's a nice area. There's air conditioning and Wi-Fi, most important. Let's see here. Bass Fan wants to know, where can I find your pre-cruise checklist on your website? Do you mean, are you referring, Bass Fan, are you talking about the video that we did, the preparing for your cruise one? Was that it, Bass Fan? Because if that's so, it's in the description for that video, if that's what you're referring to. I think it's royalcaribbeanblog.com. Now I got to look it up, dude. That's a great question. Hold on. I should be able to find this pretty quickly. This was like preparing for a Royal Caribbean cruise. And then, yeah. It's royalcaribbeanblog.com/packing-list. I'll post the link in the chat. Basically, you just sign up for the, I don't know why it's doing that, but basically, Bass Fan, you sign up for the email newsletter, and it'll give you the download link when you do that. All right, it doesn't let me put it in the chat, but if you go to Royal Caribbean, I don't know why. If you go to royalcaribbeanblog.com/packing-list, one word, packing list, you'll be able to get to it. Let's see here. Next question, Barbara Hawkins. Barbara, thank you for the super chat. Just saying hello from Harmony of the Seas. Enjoy Harmony. It's a great ship. I think you'll absolutely love that. Ronnie Bickers Jr. Ronnie, thank you for the super chat, my friend. 201 days till adventure. If you have multiple bids royal up, what happens if you win 2 or more? You don't. Once you win 1, that's it. It just takes the first 1. So you can't win 2, if that makes sense. Good question. Let's see here. Russell wants to know, if I do a solo cruise, it would be good to have my parents contact the cruise line to ensure the onboard staff can accommodate my needs to ensure the peace of mind for my first solo cruise. No, what would your parents? I don't know what your parents would ask of the cruise line. No, I would say there's no point to, and they wouldn't be able to do anything, quite frankly. It's your first solo cruise. Russell, you've been around long enough here that you know things you should or shouldn't do in terms of the grand scheme of planning. That'll be fine. I mean, number one, Russell, get the internet package so that way you can stay in contact with your family back home, and go with the flow. A cruise is what you make of it. So I would say no. Not to mention the fact that I don't think that, quite frankly, there's any point in doing that, because I think when your parents call, they'll be like, "Sir or madam, there's nothing. That's not a thing we do. We don't do wellness checks on people to be like, are you having a good time on the cruise? Like, do you need that's not really a thing." Raul, thank you for the super chat. How often do they change the sheets on the bed? Great question. So, if you're in a balcony or lower, so inside room, ocean view, or balcony room, you get your sheets changed once a day. You choose between morning or evening. I am team evening. I always pick the evening one because I like having my bed ready for when I go to bed at night. And also, if I take a nap in the afternoon, it doesn't mess with the bed for later on. But I digress. If you're staying in a junior suite or higher, then you get it twice a day. So, Vicky is on board the Icon of the Seas. I am jealous. That is awesome. Hope you're enjoying Icon. Going back on there very soon. Love it. Do you have a suggestion for eating at Chops? Filet mignon. You can't go wrong with filet, ever. Is there a Royal Caribbean cruise you've not been on? Yes, I've not been on Voyager of the Seas, Vision of the Seas, Enchantment of the Seas, Spectrum of the Seas. There's still a few out there that I have not tried yet. LCO, good to see you again. Thank you for the super chat. 62 days till brilliance. I hear whales swim close to cruise ships when they sail to Alaska. If that's the case, is a whale watching excursion still worthwhile? Yes, absolutely. So while that is possible, you heard correctly. The thing is, you've got to be really lucky to see that from the cruise ship, because the whales sometimes, they're more in transit, so they come up for a breath and they go back down for an hour or something. So it's pretty rare to see a whale from the ship. The actual excursions bring you to places where whales go to breed and feed and do their thing, and that's a far better opportunity to see them. So I would say, yeah. I mean, while you could maybe see one from the ship, you probably won't. And so I recommend you go and do an excursion if you want to see whales. By far, that'd be your best bet. Greg Steele, saw your article about the express boarding any faster than people with the key. No, exactly the same, in fact. I would even argue, Greg, it's probably faster. Granted, it's faster in the terminal. Remember, Greg, what we're talking about with express boarding is it's really the check-in process. When you get to the terminal, when you get to the point where they call people, the key theoretically would be called first. Now, in my situation, Greg, on this sailing, when I got up through security, all the way through security and got to the boarding area, they had already boarded. Boarding had begun, so I didn't have to wait. I just walked straight on the ship. So having the key or not wouldn't make a difference. And I've said this before, Greg, and I know you know this because you've been around long enough. I don't recommend the key. I think it's a waste of money. The benefits sound better than they are. So if you want to look at it that way, I mean, there's other benefits than just express boarding, but yeah, good question though. Let's see here. Slew Dog, any word or name or type of production show on Star of the Seas? No, not yet. We don't know yet the shows. We don't know yet, obviously, the Godmother. I mean, we're still more than a year away, Slew Dog. So I would not expect that information until probably after Utopia launch at the very least. Raul, thank you again for a super chat. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Very, very kind of you. Kristen, does bingo count towards your prime status in the casino? No, it's not. Thanks, Matt. I won, by the way. Nice. You won bingo? That's awesome. But no, it doesn't count. Bingo is not part of the casino program. It's part of something else. But no, it does not count towards that, fortunately or unfortunately. Also, as you can also tell, Kristen, kids are allowed to play bingo. So that kind of tells you why. It's not quite on the same level right there. Intrigued viewer. Thank you for the super chat. 4 Days of Symphony. Can you pack an empty hydro flask in your checked luggage? Yes. Small electronics like shavers and toys? Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes to every question you asked. Absolutely. In fact, a hydro flask is a really good idea. I know that some of our writers on the team. I'm not much of a I just prefer. This is how old I am. I just grab a bottle of water and do that. But I know a lot of people really like their hydro flasks, and you can absolutely bring those on board the ship, no problem at all. Let's see here. Bill Cariccio. Bill, thank you for becoming a club member, dude. Thank you so much, Bill. You are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you very much, Bill. That is awesome. Andrew is live streaming from Liberty of the Seas in Bermuda. Andrew, I have some very good friends on board Liberty right now. Mr. Cooking Yo, that's his username. He's on Liberty. He's probably in the casino. Well, where are you guys? In Bermuda? Maybe not. I don't think the casino's open. But he's a great guy. He's wearing a Penn State hat. He's very loud. He's very obnoxious. If you see him, say hello. He's a very nice guy. He's just loud and obnoxious. But otherwise, he's a great guy. Have a great time on Liberty. I'll be on Liberty of the Seas in 2 weeks. June 1st will be on there, which I cannot wait for. Mary Kate, what was your boarding time? We have 11 a.m. Should we get there on 11:15? Mine was 11 also. Just get there. I would get there earlier, 10:45. Always give yourself a little bit extra time. You know, maybe there's a little bit of traffic. But I would say for your boarding time, or it's really your check-in time, I would get there earlier. Not later. Like the time at the least you should be there is the time that it's given. But I would get there a little earlier. Always plan like 15 minutes early in case there's a little bit of traffic. It's totally fine. They don't mind at all, Mary Kate. And Chantel, thank you. There's the list right there for Alaska. Appreciate that. Jim Jenkins, thank you for the super chat. Unlimited dining. How hard is it to make reservations? I can't promise you, obviously. I would say in general, in my experience, over all the times doing unlimited dining or any dining package, it's not been difficult. The thing is, get on the ship early and go make your reservations as soon as you can. First thing, like don't go eat lunch first. Go make reservations first. That is more important. So yeah, Jim, I would definitely recommend if you do that, it's fine. If you wait a little bit, the lines get a little long, and obviously times go quickly. So those are all the reasons why I think that makes some sense. Big guy, we didn't do the key, and the people in front of us that did only got on 5 minutes before us. I'll tell you, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The key benefits sound better than they are. So save your money on that one. Let's see here. Robert Murphy, I know most of what happened to Icon, but have you heard anything about else? Why 8 minutes of lost power? No. But these things can happen, but nothing like that's. It's not an emergency or. It sounds more problematic than it is, but it has been known to happen once in a while on ships, generally speaking. But yeah, people were still able to post on the Wi-Fi, so that tells you a lot about that. something that maybe somebody pushed a button they weren't supposed to push. It can happen. Same way that sometimes you accidentally blow a fuse at home. There you go. So I wouldn't think too much about it. Let's see here. Castelli, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, can you recommend what beach to go to in St. Thomas? Megan's Bay. Megan's Bay by far is definitely the best one. Jose, I want to book a massage in the spa the first day. Will I get priority boarding if I book it early? No. It doesn't really work that way, which is strange that it would allow you to make a reservation for a time in which you couldn't possibly board before then. So I would pick a time, Jose, that works within your boarding schedule, if that makes sense. Good question. Let's see here. Have you heard or know ever use a mobile travel router with the Boom internet package important? So how was the experience? I have not, but I've heard of people who have used them. Yes. My only thing, Jason, is the mobile travel router should not be used as a mechanism to circumvent the Boom package. Like I buy one package and now my whole family has the Boom package. If you want to use it for other purposes, I think that's totally fine. But it's certainly something I've heard of other people using. I just never got one. I never saw the purpose of getting one, quite frankly. Will Utopia have a Broadway show? I don't know. Royal Caribbean hasn't announced it yet, so we have no idea, quite frankly. Jeff Roseman. Jeff, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. 84 days till Utopia can Star Class have food from a special restaurant delivered to the Suite Lounge. It'd be nice to enjoy the location. Not to the Suite Lounge. You can have food delivered to from a special restaurant to your room. Now, of course, Jeff, you can take that food and then walk to the Suite Lounge and do that. But you could definitely have it delivered to your cabin. And I'd argue your cabin, I mean, that's a pretty nice space right there, right? Because you're in Star Class, so it's going to be one of the best rooms on the whole ship. Take advantage of that one. But no, I don't. I mean, you could ask your genie, but I've never heard of that being a thing. But certainly, there's no reason why you couldn't take your food and walk over to the Suite Lounge if you'd like to. So, 5-minute cruise tips. What are you hearing about the ship's adoption of the third option for fixing in the dining room? When do you think hopefully we'll have it? It's a great question. I don't know. It's been rolled out on a lot of ships. Quite frankly, I'd be surprised if ships don't have it yet. I don't know if we have it. Check the app. Because I'm on Freedom of the Seas. Where would it be? Dining, I guess. Main dining. Seating. I'm not sure if it shows it on here. I'd have to check. I don't know where. Oops, that's the menu. That doesn't help me. Second seat. I don't think we have it on here because it says here the second seating is at 8:30, and that would not be the case. But Royal Caribbean, unfortunately, has not provided any kind of rollout schedule or updates on that. So it's kind of like when it's ready on a ship kind of thing. So, yeah. Burning, thank you for the super chat. 4 days symphony in a suite. If you only want cleaning in the evening, do I just let the attendant know, or would they think that's rude? I mean, you could. The answer is you could absolutely just let the attendant know. Why wouldn't you want to? I mean, certainly if you want to sleep in one day, like if you're just like, hey man, we're gonna sleep in, and we're not leaving the room till like noon, that's totally fine. Just put the do not disturb sign on. You're good to go. But in general, if you're out of the room, they're gonna clean your room in the morning. I don't know why you wouldn't want that, other than that scenario I explained to you, and that's totally fine. That is perfectly acceptable. Like if there's a specific day, or you just sleep in late. They're not going to knock on your door and bug you if you have that sign up, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, work with them. I mean, number one, they want to make sure you have a good cruise. Number two, it's included with what you're paying for. But number three, most importantly, if you want to have some flexibility with that, don't feel like you absolutely have to. If you're just want to have a great day where you're enjoying your suite and sitting in bed all day, there's nothing wrong with that. It's your cruise. Let's see here. New and old Funko, thank you for the super chat. 4 days till elevation. Any way to see how full the ship is? No. The only thing you could do is do a mock booking for your cruise and see how many cabins are left to be sold. And 4 days out, you can still see that. Other than that, no. But quite frankly, I would expect the ship to be completely full. So, good question. Brad, it's good to see you, buddy. Welcome back. Thank you for the super chat. If price changes, are we refunded the difference? Maybe. If you live in a country that's allowed, I think, Brad, you're an American, so that's a yes. Number two, if you're before a final payment date, then yes, you can. And number three, then you have to actually call it in. It's not automatic. But this is also, Brad, why I work with a travel agent, because my travel agent does it for me. But yeah, if you live in a country that's allowing to, like the United States, you can absolutely do that up until final payment date. After final payment date, you can't do anything else about that. Yeah, so. Cheryl, thank you for the super chat. Harmony of the Sea, summer 2025, saying in a grand suite, is water, soda, tea, coffee, beer, wine available all free all day in the suite lounge outside the happy hour? No, good question. So in the suite lounge, the coffee machine is 24 hours. Good there. The beer and wine is available. What ship are you on? Harmony? That'll be from 11 to 11 a.m., 11 p.m. And that'll be allowed. In the evening hours, the happy hour, then you get the full bar over there. And then water, soda, tea, and that's usually locked up when they're not serving in that 11:11 time frame. So if it were 9 a.m. as an example, no, it'd only be coffee that'd be available there. So good question. Now that being said, Cheryl, if the suite concierge is there, they can usually go and grab you one. It's not a big deal if you ask nicely for it. Let's see here. We have some more super chats coming. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the generosity. Are there any Broadway shows on Freedom of the Seas? No, there's not. Bill, thank you for the super chat. Why is Royal Caribbean ordering 7th Oasis Class set of Icon? Why do you think, Bill, that they're ordering what they're mutually exclusive? Like, why do you think them ordering a 7th precludes them from ordering an Icon class? Think about that. So the answer is they're not mutually exclusive. It's not that by ordering a 7th Oasis class, that doesn't mean they're ordering another Icon. One has nothing to do with the other. So I hope that makes sense. Todd wants to know, does Junior Suite get double points towards Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor? Yes, absolutely. Jim Nolan. Jim, thank you for the super chat. Also on Liberty Seas June 1st, maybe see you in the casino or the pub. Yes, those are two very common places to find me, Jim. So yes, looking forward to seeing you on board. Can't wait for that cruise. Bermuda's going to be awesome. Let's see here. In general, are the promenade rooms noisy? I mean, did it work? Are we back? Hold on, now I gotta check. Let's see. Did it? That was a weird one. Okay, I think we're back. So, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I got a weird message that we were not live anymore. Okay, cool. So, are promenade rooms noisy? They can be a little noisy when there's something going on in the promenade, but in general, they're not bad, and I prefer the promenade room over a standard room. Ronnie, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Group cruise in December 25. When will we know? We already have our group cruises in December for 2025, so the answer is no. There are 2 group cruises in December. Actually, I lied. There is one in December. One is on. No, wait, that's. No, there's not. Sorry, Ronnie. I'm getting my years confused. There's one this December, not next year. Next year we have 2 group cruises already. So there will not be one in December 25. The one's in June and one's in October of 25. So that answers your question, I hope. Yoink, thank you for the super chat. Did Royal Caribbean remove morning service ordered from TV? Last time I needed to call in the morning on Anthem, enjoy your cruise. I think it depends on the ship if you can order it from the TV. I am not sure. Call me old-fashioned. I just order room service in the morning with a little pamphlet you put on your door frame and do it that way, which I know is kind of antiquated, but I still prefer to do it that way. But I thought it was like per ship if they actually had that feature or not. Noodle and Funko, thank you for the super chat. They took our sailing down almost a month ago. And that means you are probably sold out. That usually is what that means as to how many rooms are left in your cabin. So, Slew Dog, thank you for the super chat. Star or Symphony, both junior suites. Star's $1,500 more. I'd pick Star. Newer, and it's gonna have the latest and greatest. Slew Dog, and that's the reason why I would prefer that. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet where we keep going in and out. It's a weird error. I don't know if it's the internet is like flaking out, and so the system is losing it. But yeah, I apologize. Castelli, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Castelli, but thank you, my friend, for the support there. And Ronnie, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate you. Yeah. So make sure we're still live, but I think we are. Live. Awesome. All right, we're still here. Ronnie, why do people choose junior suites over other suites? Junior suites are cheaper than other suites, and you get double crown and anchor point. So you get a suite light experience, if that makes sense. Hey, Joy, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hal Warren, Hal, thank you for the super chat. Just at my first transatlantic on Oasis. Thank you to you and your team for the advice. You are very welcome, Hal. Hope you had a great time on Oasis. That is a transatlantic. That's an amazing experience right there. If I was in charge of changing features on Star of the Seas versus Icon, what would they be? Your question makes a lot of sense. I would love a better. That's a good question. I'm not sure on the answer to that one. I am sure I can think of one, but not off the top of my head, Joe. No, not really. I got to think about that one. I'm not sure. Let me think about that one a little bit. I'll try my best. Let's see here. Castelli Super Chat was: Has you or anyone ever done the Anguilla Sun and Sea excursion? No, I have not. Castelli, you could do is post that exact question on our message boards at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We have there a short excursion forum, and you can post a question, and maybe find other people there that will have the option for that. So. I think I've reached the bottom of the chat. I know it's been really wonky today, so I apologize. This is why, I don't mind doing lives on board a ship, but truthfully, I'd rather do my lives at home. The internet works better. It's a more manageable experience. Let's put it that way. Can you please explain the boarding check-in process when you're actually present at the port, traveling with the kids with special needs and want to prepare them for the experience? We have actually, I can do one better for you, more than words. We have a video on our channel about how to check in for the cruise, and what embarkation day is like and all that. So check out the videos there. If you search for check-in and boarding, you'll find those videos I'm talking about. And I think that's going to do better because you don't want just like an explanation. You want to be able to explain and show this to your kid. I think the video is going to help you a lot more than me rattling it off. So go to our channel, search for boarding day, embarkation. You're going to find the video there. We kind of go through the whole process there. Yeah, good point, Don. Thank you for the better answer than I gave earlier about why people book a junior suite. Junior suites get double points, coffee maker, bathtub, bigger shower. You also get a closet, like a walk-in closet, bigger balcony. It's basically, junior suites are essentially extra large balcony rooms, and you get double points, which is really nice. Are there any difference between in junior suites, different shampoo? Yes. When you're in a suite, junior, or otherwise, you get upgraded toiletries as well, which is something nice to have over there. Are most complimentary foods on Royal Caribbean cruise just as good as specialty dining and not worth getting the dining package? That is a loaded question, Russell. That is depends on your perspective in a lot of cases. The answer is the foods are different. They're certainly good in both. And I wouldn't tell you, listen, I stayed in the dining room tonight for dinner. It was wonderful. I asked for seconds for my Indian curry dish. I had the fish that I ordered I got to tell you guys, that fish fillet was fantastic. I will order that again on Liberty of the Seas by far. It was really, really good. So don't limit yourself. Don't assume we're trying to put it into different categories there. I think your question is just, it seems like an easy question or a simple question. It's really not. And in the case with food in general, Russell, food is very subjective. People have very strong opinions about food, and I wouldn't recommend you relying on anyone's opinion on that. I think you can find good options at both specialty and included, and I wouldn't necessarily write off included food because you have this perception that specialty is so much better. I mean, it is good, but it's not necessarily like the premise of your question is almost flawed, if that makes sense. Hey, Michael, thank you for the super chat. Will they move up this we'll try this again. Will they, or do you think they will ever menu up for the menu for Chef's Table, like update the menu? Ever? Yes. They usually, in the past, before the pandemic, they would up